Welcome to Money for People, where we explain money simply. And today we are looking at 5 ISA mistakes beginners make. Because a lot of people hear ISA and think, brilliant, tax-free, job done. But that is where problems start. Because just putting money into an ISA does not automatically mean you are doing the right thing. You can still choose the wrong type, use it for the wrong goal, move it the wrong way, or leave it sitting there doing far less than you thought. So in this video, I'm going to walk through 5 common mistakes in a very simple way so you can avoid them. Mistake number 1 is not understanding what kind of ISA you actually have. This is probably the biggest one because people talk about ISAs like they are all the same thing, but they are not. A cash ISA is basically for saving money in cash and earning tax-free interest. A stocks and shares ISA is for investing. So your money is in things like funds or shares, which means it can go up and down. And then you have things like a lifetime ISA, which has its own rules and is designed more for things like a first home or later life. So the first mistake is using the word ISA like it tells you everything. It does not. The real question is, what type of ISA is it and what job is it meant to do? Think of it like this. Imagine someone says, I have got a vehicle. That could mean a bicycle, a motorbike, a van, or a bus. They are all vehicles, but they are clearly not for the same job. And ISAs are a bit like that. So before you put money anywhere, make sure you know whether you are saving it, investing it, or locking it into something with extra rules. Because once you understand that, the rest becomes much easier. Mistake number 2 is putting short-term money into a stocks and shares ISA. This catches a lot of people out. They hear that investing usually beats cash over the long run, and they think, great, I will put my house deposit, emergency fund, or next year's holiday money into a stocks and shares ISA. That is risky. Because investing is for money you can leave alone for years, not months. If the market drops just when you need the money, you might be forced to take it out at exactly the wrong time. So even if a stocks and shares ISA is great for long-term goals, it can be a bad place for short-term money. A simple rule is this: if you need the money soon, cash usually makes more sense. If you do not need the money for a long time, investing may make more sense. That is not a perfect rule for every single person, but for beginners, it is a very useful starting point. A lot of mistakes happen because people focus on what might give the biggest return instead of what matches the goal. And your goal matters. If this is your emergency fund, stability matters. If this is money for 10 years from now, growth matters more. The mistake is not choosing cash. The mistake is not choosing investing. The mistake is using the wrong tool for the wrong time frame. That is what gets people into trouble. Mistake number 3 is thinking tax-free automatically means best. This one sounds obvious, but loads of people still do it. They hear tax-free and their brain almost stops there. But tax-free does not magically make a bad account good. A poor cash ISA rate is still a poor rate. An expensive investment inside a stocks and shares ISA is still expensive. And money sitting in the wrong place is still money sitting in the wrong place, even if it is inside an ISA wrapper. So yes, the tax benefits matter. They absolutely do. But you still need to compare what you are actually getting. What is the interest rate? What are the fees? Is this money meant for saving or for investing? And is it even competitive compared with your other options? The ISA is the wrapper. What is inside the wrapper still matters. Mistake number 4 is moving your money the wrong way. This is one of those boring mistakes that can quietly cost people money. Let's say you find a better ISA somewhere else. A better rate, lower fees, better app, whatever it may be. A lot of beginners think, easy, I'll just withdraw the money and put it into the new one. But that can be a mistake. If you want to keep the tax benefits properly, you normally want to transfer the ISA through the provider, not just pull the money out yourself and move it manually. That is the key difference. Transfer, not withdraw and repay. And this is where ISAs can get a bit annoying, because some are flexible and some are not. A flexible ISA can let you take money out and put it back in during the same tax year without eating into more of your allowance. But not every ISA works like that. So if you assume they all do, you can get caught out. The simple beginner takeaway is this. If you are changing provider, do not guess. Do not just withdraw the money and hope for the best. Check whether it should be done as an official transfer. That one step can save you a lot of hassle. And then we get to mistake number 5, which is waiting until the last minute to think about your ISA at all. A lot of people only remember ISAs right at the end of the tax year. Suddenly there are headlines everywhere, people panic, and it becomes this rushed decision. Now, yes, ISA allowances reset each tax year, so timing does matter. But for most normal people, the bigger point is not trying to perfectly game the deadline. It is building the habit of using your ISA sensibly over time. Because when people leave it until the last minute, they often do one of two things. They either do nothing at all, or they rush into the wrong decision just because the deadline is close. Neither is ideal. And this is the part a lot of people forget. You do not need to be maxing out your whole ISA allowance for an ISA to be useful. You do not need £20,000 lying around. You do not need to be perfect. Even using a small part of your allowance is still using it. Even putting money in regularly is still progress. The goal is not to look impressive. The goal is to make better decisions with your money. So let's quickly recap the 5 mistakes. Number 1, not understanding which type of ISA you actually have. Number 2, putting short-term money into a stocks and shares ISA. Number 3, thinking tax-free automatically means best. Number 4, moving money the wrong way instead of transferring it properly. And number 5, leaving it all too late and treating your ISA like a last-minute panic rather than a long-term habit. If you can avoid those 5 mistakes, you are already in a much better position than a lot of beginners. Because ISAs are genuinely useful, but only if you understand what you are doing. And the good news is, you do not need to become a financial expert overnight. You just need to understand the basics and make fewer bad decisions. If this video helped, give it a like, subscribe to Money for People, and let me know in the comments which ISA topic you want next. Maybe cash ISA versus stocks and shares ISA, maybe lifetime ISAs, or maybe the most common beginner investing mistakes overall. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.